Hi, I'm Katie Barr, and this is Boca Matters. Today we'll be learning a little bit about the Education Task Force in Boca Raton. Joining us is Dr. Anna Owens. She's a mental health expert, a teacher at Nova University, and a resident of Boca Raton. Hello, Anna. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to kind of share some information.
Excellent. That's what we want.
Yeah.
Let's start by what is the Education Task Force?
Okay, so the Education Task Force was essentially born to address the overcrowding in schools, specifically within the city limits of Boca Raton. I think that was a concern of parents and teachers. So that's kind of where it spawned from.
And it's about a year old?
Yeah, about a year old, and we just presented our findings back in March to the City Council.
Excellent. And so what brought you to the task force?
You know, I'm an educator, so I had been a school counselor in Palm Beach County for many years, and, now I teach as a counselor educator, so essentially master's level students. So I see myself as an educator, so it's really important to me. And I also work with a lot of students in that kind of secondary, post-secondary setting. In the mental health capacity, so providing services to students and families. So it's really, kind of my wheelhouse, things that I deal with on a daily basis.
It's a perfect fit.
Yeah.
So what do you think is the most stressful aspect for students today?
Gosh, I mean, it's really challenging to even pinpoint, but I would say college and career readiness is a big one, and so not having support within a school setting can be a challenge. So the American School Counselor Association recommends one school counselor to every 250 students. And I can tell you from lots of experience that that's not the case nationally and definitely within our city, maybe more like 1 to 500 to 1 to 1,000, something like that. So college and career readiness. So what are kids going to be doing once they graduate is a big one. Obviously, mental health, a big concern. So just that social emotional learning and development. How are we supporting these kids? And also social media. So social media is something new, relatively new for this generation. They grew up on it essentially. And so you see a lot of issues emerge around that as well.
And school safety, is that a concern for students?
Yes. After Marjorie Stoneman Douglas, that is definitely a concern on parents, students, teachers, all stakeholders. It's a big concern. And even though with the Education Task Force, we were not tasked to look into school safety, it continued to come up in meetings. So it was kind of something that we couldn't really ignore as far as maybe our future recommendations of what we see, the future of the board kind of leading towards is addressing school safety. And overcrowding would be one, because if schools are overcrowded, the capacity for students to be mobile is in jeopardy as well. So
the task force, you supervise or you analyze the public schools in Boca Raton?
Just the public schools, correct.
And does that include charter schools at all?
That does not include the charter schools. So to the best of my knowledge, there's one charter school here in East Boca, right off 4th Avenue. And then it also doesn't address like Don Estridge. So that's like a choice school, and then also A.D. Henderson and FAU High. Those are also kind of choice programs that one would have to apply. So they're in Boca Raton in the city limits, but we didn't use those. There was only 9 schools that we were looking at, elementary, middle, and high.
And do you see progress now that there's more awareness about school overcrowding in Boca?
Yeah, I think some of those things were already in motion even when our educational task force begun. So for instance, they're going to be rebuilding Addison Meisner, Verde Elementary. They're adding to Calusa, I believe, like modules, also at Spanish River High. So there's also going to be a new elementary school. It's called 05C at the time. So that's on the property of Don Estridge, and they acquired land and have been clearing that. So that's also kind of in the future. We actually were not able to work with the principals. Originally, we were each going to be assigned a school and then get some feedback from principals, which I think would be really helpful. I mean, they are the leader of their school. but we were asked to not kind of contact them directly. So, that was a little bit of a hindrance. But we were able to meet with members of the school district, and they gave us a lot of valuable information.
Well, I think it's a great comfort to parents and grandparents and just everyone in general who is concerned about schools to know that we have this extra set of eyes just overseeing everything.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do other cities have these task force? Do you know?
No, I'm not 100% sure. I know it was something that we created specifically because there was concern about overcrowding.
Right.
And so that was our main task, and I feel like it was addressed. I mean, I feel that the information provided was, okay, yeah, they're going to build new schools. They're adding to the existing schools, or they're going to be remodeling parts of the schools. So I think our voice was heard.
Yeah, so maybe Boca's ahead of the curve on this.
A little bit, yeah.
And, just switching subjects a little bit, I know you're a resident of the downtown.
Yeah.
I think, like, the area that you're living in is almost the millennials' Old Floresta. It's just a great neighborhood. What do you find most enjoyable about being in the downtown?
My husband and I built our house in 2015, and we are big bikers. We bike to Deerfield or the beach. We love going to the beach. So I think just the accessibility to everything. As you probably know, in the summer they do those summer series of concerts. Right. So we go to those. There's a yoga event. I do yoga every Saturday morning. So lots of opportunities to just kind of be out in a community. I just really love that. Yeah. So I've enjoyed living down here. We do a shuffleboard league. So, just kind of fun things where we've really gotten to meet a lot of different people.
Well, you're an asset to the community, Dr. Owens, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
That's it for today, folks. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you next time.